Hey guys, it's Rhinne. Today we're going to be talking about where I believe items are on the tier list and what items I think are safe for you guys to hit level 30 on, especially because we just got 3 level 30 item enhancers. So we're going to start off with Eos Cookie. I think Eos Cookie is situationally good. Pretty much the only character I think that can run it right now is Lucario. And the situation where you'd run it would be when you have attack weight and you're getting rid of focus band. This thing gives you, I believe, 1.2k health at max stacks, which is pretty sizable. It's less health than you get overall with Focus Band, but it doesn't have a cooldown. It's not a bad item, it's just not amazing either, I think. Next up is Assault Vest. I don't really know any character that can run Assault Vest. It's theoretically not bad, especially if there were to be a draft in this game, but as it stands, because it's a blind pick, because we can't know who we're against, we don't know what kind of damages they're going to be doing, we don't know if they're physical or special attackers, Assault Vest seems pretty mediocre. So attack weight is an item that's been getting a lot of buzz recently. I think attack weight is a very strong item, but that being said, only a few characters can actually run it, and leveling it up doesn't actually do too much for you. So pretty much the only character running it right now is Lucario. People have been testing it on things like Cinderace, Greninja, Talonflame, and Zeraora, but there hasn't been too much success there as far as I'm aware. Lucario seems to use this item extremely well. So if you are playing Lucario, I highly recommend using attack weight and watching Lucario players on stream or something and seeing how they end up playing it out. There's a very unique playstyle to play with attack weight to get as many scores as possible early game, so that's going to matter a lot for attack weight's viability. Alright, next up is the king itself, Buddy Barrier. You guys already know, 40% HP to yourself and an ally. This item is insane. It has really good base stats. It is directly better on its stats than Score Shield is, and Score Shield also gives HP. So I don't know why they thought that was a good idea, making already the strongest item in the game also have more stats than other items as a base. This item is extremely safe to level 30. You can run this on any character in the game and it will be a good item. Next up is Choice Specs. So I'm not a fan of Choice Specs. I think they're pretty bad. Choice Specs, as far as I'm aware, has an 8-second cooldown. This means that you can't constantly proc it, and it only procs on a single unit. So AoE skills don't proc it on everybody that gets hit by the AoE. It only gets procced on one target that gets hit in that AoE. So I think Choice Specs are super overrated as an item. I think Muscle Band is just directly better than it, but we'll talk about Muscle Band later. Next up is Energy Amp. So Energy Amp got bug fixed. Now it gives the Unite cooldown reduction, which is really cool. I think Energy Amp can be situationally good on some characters. Examples of this would be like Mr. Mime, maybe Talonflame, stuff like that. We'll have to do some more testing, but I think it's a decent item. I'd only consider leveling this up if you've gotten confirmation from someone that it's good on them, because people think that this item is a lot better than it actually is. The 21% damage actually doesn't end up lasting that long. You generally won't get to use other abilities with that 21% damage increase just because ult animations take far too long. Next up is Exp Share. Exp Share is pretty strong on supports, but that being said, I wouldn't really run this in solo queue. It's not too strong there. The goal behind Exp Share is to have your ally last hit it, and then you get additional 30% EXP total, which is very strong. The only issue with it is that if you're in solo queue especially, you can't really rely on your teammate last hitting, so this item is pretty, we'll say, shaky there. Next up is Floatstone. I think probably the biggest memed item in the game. It just has mediocre stats. It takes too long to get out of combat for the move speed. This item is bleh. So Focus Band is a weird one. Focus Band itself is really strong. However, the items that people are cutting out, just because items are way too good, are Focus Band. So on characters like, let's say, Cinderace, people are starting to cut Focus Band. On characters like Talonflame, I cut Focus Band. Focus Band is a really strong item. It's just, there are too many good items in this game that we're pretty much forced to cut it, especially since it's a damage power creep meta. Focus Band is a really, really good item, but even with that said, I don't think you should get it to level 30 because the base stats on the item itself are terrible. The defense and special defense it gives are pretty much negligible. I think your level 30s are better spent elsewhere. Even if you're using this item, it's a very strong item to get to level 20. I wouldn't get it past that. Next up is Leftovers. This item is complete garbage. I don't really want to go into it. Heal using your gold or citrus berries or not this. Next up is Muscle Band. Muscle Band is one of the best DPS items in the game. You can throw this on pretty much any character and it will be a good item. Muscle Band is very strong. The base stats it gives, the extra attack speed is very strong. It's a safe item to get to level 30. It's a very strong item. You can run this on pretty much anyone. It's great on junglers. It's great on laners. It helps you clear faster. It helps you contest minions. Helps you do a lot of damage. On a majority of the cast, this item is better than Wise Glasses in terms of damage. So that means on characters like Pikachu, on characters like Venusaur, this item is better than Wise Glasses. You can check out my Wise Glasses video for math on that, and that'll be down in the description. Or up here, I don't know. Next up is Razor Claw. Razor Claw has been making a lot of waves. This item is insanely strong. It gives so much burst potential and makes us feel like there is a giant damage meta on the horizon. I've been running this on so many characters. I've been running it on Talonflame, I've been running it on Cinderace, I've been running it on Lucario. I'm going to try it on Greninja. I'm going to be trying it on other things like Zeraora as well. It seems like a very, very, very strong item. I am not disappointed with this item at all. I think Razor Claw is one of the safest items to get to level 30. It has very good stats. It gives attack and crit, which are both very strong stats. And it synergizes with the next item we're going to be talking about, Scope Lens. I think Scope Lens is also a very strong item. It's one of the best items you can actually get to level 30 because the base stats on it are extremely strong. The crit and crit damage you get are some of the best stats in the game as far as ignoring the passives on items are concerned. So in combination with items like Razor Claw, I think Scope Lens is extremely powerful. Getting the crit damage procs and getting both of them and then just doing stupid amounts of damage on burst makes assassins feel so much better. I've been running Scope Lens and Razor Claw on Talonflame and I've literally been one-shotting people. You can go look at my stream VODs. This combination is insane. Talonflame feels really insane. Next up is Rocky Helmet. So Rocky Helmet, you have to take a certain amount of damage for it to proc. I believe it's 10% of your health. On top of that, the stats on it are mediocre and it doesn't even do that much damage. It's like 2% of your max health or something. This item is doo-doo water. Next up is Score Shield. Score Shield's a very strong item. It can be run on supports, it can be run on tanks, it can be run on characters like Lucario, or anyone who wants to dunk with like things like attack weight. It's a very strong item. You don't even need things like goal stacking items for it to be good. There are strategies revolving around Score Shield specifically for like getting shields and dunking and whatnot. This item is very, very, very strong. I personally have been cutting it on things like Lucario, which is why I don't put it in the safe to 30 tier, but honestly, it could be there. There are so many characters that use this. It has pretty good stats, not quite as good as Buddy Barrier, but it is a very versatile item and it will never be bad. Next up is Wise Glasses. So I mentioned earlier that Wise Glasses are almost always worse in damage compared to Muscle Band on casters. With that said, Wise Glasses can be run in tandem with Muscle Band and still be good. But then there are some characters that will end up running Wise Glasses if they run, say, special attack specs, which is why I put it in situationally good. The only character I can think of that would do this would be like Mime. But there are also healers that can run Wise Glasses because they get extra healing from it. A notable character for this would be Blissey in Solo Queue. I actually run it for. So next up is the other item we're talking about, special attack specs. I've been seeing people use this item more on characters like Mr. Mime specifically, having him play the same role as Lucario with the solo laner top and trying to dunk and using this in combination with the Wise Glasses to do insane amounts of damage because he has really strong scaling. With that being said, I don't think I've seen any other character really be able to make this work. I've been trying to make it work on Gengar, but his early game is way too weak for this to even be feasible. Next up is Shellbell. So I don't think Shellbell is horrible, but the cooldown reduction on it is really mediocre. The healing is a really long cooldown. When the game first started, there was a bug on Shellbell where your multi-hit abilities would heal for every single tick. So Petal Dance would heal every single tick of Petal Dance, but that's not the case anymore. And so I think Shellbell is mediocre at best. Next up is Weakness Policy. So from all the testing I've seen on Weakness Policy, I haven't been able to find anyone that it looks good on. It gives 12% attack at its max stacks, but I don't know who really wants to run this, honestly. I'm going to put it not horrible for now. Maybe it could be situationally good, but it's not a universally good item for sure. The only character I was told that it has promise on would be Garchomp, but even then, I think Muscle Band would be better than it. Anyway, that's it for this tier list. I hope this is useful for you guys for determining what items you want to get to level 30. You guys can go check out my stream for gameplay, especially on the new patch. We're testing out new builds, we're testing out new characters. As of recently, I've been trying out Talonflame and Petal Dance Venusaur. Both seem extremely strong. You guys can join my Discord. That'll be down in the description below as well as my stream. And I'll see you guys next time.